Hi, Hunter. I'm so sorry you're not with us and not feeling well, so it's your assignment to get better and get back in here. We are talking about what a lab write-up is, so that's my transition. Was that smooth? We're going to look at the parts of a lab write-up. This lab that we did is due on Friday. So the first thing is a meaningful title to explain to the reader what the lab was about. And then we're at part 1, and then there's the information the school requires, name, teacher, date, and period. Then data and calculations. That's all the stuff that's in front of our students now, the information from yesterday, and their averaging and their calculations for velocity. So any additions they did and so forth. All the calculations are there. Include the units, at least in meaningful spots. So like say if you were averaging 5 numbers, you don't have to write seconds, 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 seconds. But at the very last one, put in seconds. So meaningfully put in all the units so the person reading it will understand what the units were. And then after data and calculations, I guess it's only 4 parts. I think I might have said 5. 4 parts, Hunter. After that is the important part of this lab. So I mentioned that I'm going to actually hand some of these labs to different people and have them read the explanation part to see if they could understand what actually took place in this lab. All right, explanation. And that's the real meat of the meat and potatoes here. That's where you actually, in your own words, explain and answer this question. What was done? What was done? And this is paragraph form. Explanation, what was done? So, here's I wish I should have saved it from 1 year. 1 year I had a student come in. This is an example of what I do not want. This video can only go 15 minutes, so what have we done? Say 3 or 5. So when it gets about 20 up, we have to shut it down because YouTube won't let me upload anything over 15 seconds. 15 minutes. So, all right. So what I expect for this lab, and again, I'm not going to tell you this for every lab. So this is a training ground. Is this? What I'm looking for. I'll tell you what another student did once, and I wish I'd saved the paper. It was so characteristic of what I don't want. But it's a little embarrassing. Can I have that lab? I want to use it to show what it shouldn't be. But anyway, here's what I want. I want a clear, readable paragraph about what was done without a whole lot of detail. So here for this lab, you wouldn't say, well, what you would say is I established an inclined plane, measured it, divided it into equal or nearly equal parts, found the velocity, I don't know, I'm not saying it very well. Say timed a ball on the first half, a ball on the second half, and a ball's time for the whole board. Then I used the distance and found the velocity on the top, the bottom, and the whole board. And then I compared the 3, which we haven't got to, but we will. So, do you see, that was a pretty rough version. But what I want to not have is this. I walked to the bookcase and took out 3 books and measured 9 centimeters and put a board on a slant, and they were so detailed. They probably just took the book and took the procedure in the book and put it sort of in their own words. So I don't need to know that you took 9 centimeters of books. I combined all that and said I formed an inclined plane with a board. So you see the difference.
So you want detail, but not too much detail.
Right. So when I hand it to Miss Stone or whoever I've chosen, I usually pick someone without a scientific bend. Maybe she has one, so I have to check her out. But someone, I'm going to give her your lab, read that paragraph and tell me what was done. So make it clear. So simplify everything you can simplify, but don't skip anything that explains what was done. So I don't want it so simple that you can say, I established an incline plane and found the velocities. Done. You know, so it's a little better than that. So I'm looking for that middle ground, and it is readable paragraph, not a list, not step 1, step 2, step 3. All right. The next, in number 3, I want you to look, this is also important. Step number 3 is to take what happened in step number 2 and make conclusions. So every lab is going to have some points we're trying to emphasize or learn from. So conclusions. When we talk a little more about this lab, I'll tell you what the conclusions should be. And then lastly, part 4, I want the principles. How did I say that? The principles used. Principles are main ideas from our study. Principles used. All right, let's go back and finish talking about the lab. And actually, we'll discuss what goes into conclusions for this lab and principles used, so you have a better idea what I mean. So, all of this turned out to get 3 velocities. So, velocity 1, 2, and 3. All right, we were working with your information, Emily and Emily. So, Emily Martin, what was your velocity 1 when you took this number and divided it by this?
49.5.
All right, so was that the right, yeah, that's the right
49.
precision. I'm sorry,
It's 49.
I'm sorry. All right, and what was number 2?
50.1.
And what was number 3?
67.5.
Ooh, all right. All right, notice theirs went from low, medium to high. Did anyone find a different pattern when they did that? Velocity 1, 2, and 3. Zach, what was yours?
Ours went from 98 centimeters per second to 130 centimeters per second, down back to 124 centimeters per
All right, let me take that data as well up here. Velocity 1 was what?
98 centimeters per second,
All right, and
130 centimeters per second,
130?
yeah,
And,
and then 124.
all right. So if we called this pattern 1, where this was low, medium, high, and this was low, high, and in between, which way did yours work? Alex?
Well, for the first one, I got 1.67,
Okay,
and then for the second one, it decreased to 1.80,
and what about the third?
and the third one, I got 51.2. Ooh, that's the wrong one. I don't think I calculated the third one.
Okay, calculate that now. I need to know what it was. What was your first number
1.67.
and the next?
It was 0.80.
Okay. All right. All right. Who was the other group? Yours? What? No, did yours follow the first one or the second? All right. Well, it went like this.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
high,
It
middle,
was like
low.
50, around 51, then like 99, and then 59.
Okay. So, all right. This is what we were expecting. Now, Emily and Emily, that doesn't discount that your lab would lose points for that. It is what it was, whatever unless I find an error in your calculations. So check them. But what it should have done is it should have been low, medium, and high. All right. So with that, in the conclusions, it should have been low, medium, should have been low, high, low, and in the middle, like this one. Low, high, and in the middle. Low, high, in the middle. Yours was, this one should have been between these two, but those were so close, it was hard to get in between those two. All right, let's go ahead and stop the video. You can either shut the door and we'll get part 2 going. It's easier to upload shorter segments.
All right.
All right, so